Welcome back. There is no question about this. Connecticut's housing market is hot right now. People are selling homes quickly, often above asking price, in many cases significantly above asking price. What is driving this home buying surge, and how long can it continue? Carol Christiansen is joining us now to dive into that. She's the current president of the Connecticut Association of Realtors. Carol, thanks for being with us. Just sum it up for us in a sentence or two. What's the market like in Connecticut right now?
I would say, some people would say hot. I would say white hot, crazy.
What are you seeing out there? What are you hearing from the realtors in your association? As I told you before we got going here, I also practice law. I do a lot of real estate in that job. And all I'm hearing is it's an inventory problem. Is that what you're hearing? There's just not enough homes out there and there's buyers who want them?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely an inventory problem. We have many more buyers than we have inventory to be able to show them. And that's what's started this feeding frenzy whenever a new listing comes on the market.
What are you hearing when those new listings? Do you have any anecdotes for us? I mean, I've heard some of those stories. If 123 Main Street comes up for sale, the whole weekend of showings is booked immediately. I mean, tell us some of what you've heard.
Well, I can tell you an example that happened about an hour ago. I actually put a new listing in an hour ago, and my clients are both professionals, work from home, and said, we need 24-hour notice. So I put it on today, and I wrote right in the remarks, showings to start tomorrow. And then my text just started blowing up. And some people were even asking for today, which I then had to go up, decline, because my clients had asked to start tomorrow. But that's just what happens. I mean, less than 20 minutes, it's in the multiple listing service and your phone is just blowing up with appointments.
Yeah, I've heard from agents who work with my office that you have to lock the door when you go in for a showing because the next showing's coming right in behind you. So what do you attribute this to, this low inventory? What is leading to this? Why aren't the normal number of people selling their houses?
Well, I mean, last March when the pandemic hit, we really didn't have any clue what was going to happen with real estate, but I don't think anybody would have guessed that what would have happened. So the first 5 weeks, 6 weeks of the COVID, starting the end of March, it was fairly quiet. And then all of a sudden, there was just this influx of buyers. I think we were finding that people were coming from inner city, from New York City, realizing they wanted to get away from being in crowded areas, realizing that Connecticut is a hop, skip, and a jump from these major areas where they could live. Their money would give them more for what they had, spread out a little bit. So we get a lot of influx of out-of-state buyers coming to Connecticut, and they're competing with our normal real estate market that we have. And then a lot of sellers were just very concerned about COVID and somewhat scared to put their house on the market. And we've done a lot to try to turn it around to tell sellers it is safe, you can sell your house safely. So we've got all this influx of buyers coming from out of state along with the regular sales. And right now, this is the time of year people would be normally looking because they're going to make a move. They want their kids to finish up the year in school, but be ready to be in school for the next time. So this is our normal busy time. So we're still busy, but we don't have any inventory to show anybody.
One of the concerns, if there is a downside to this frenzy, is that it's tougher on the lower income folks because houses are going so fast and they're going, multiple offers they're looking through. They don't want to, a seller may not want to touch an FHA mortgage contingency. They may want to look for that cash offer or that well-qualified buyer. Is that a problem with this? I saw in 2020, CHFA, Connecticut Housing Finance Authority, mortgages were down by 50%. So is there a group that's kind of losing out while the sellers are cashing in?
Well, it's unfortunate, but I have to say that does tend to be the case. And I think that sellers need to be a little bit better educated on the different loan programs that we have. But it is true. People look at price, terms, and conditions. So they're not only looking at the dollar they're getting, but they're looking at what are the contingencies, what are the terms and the conditions of the offer. And when they're looking at some of the government loans where their house might need some work, might be an older home. We have a lot of older housing stock in Connecticut, that they're concerned that they're going to get an inspection and they're going to have to do more work and put out more money. So it's easier to just take the conventional or the cash offers where those concerns aren't a mortgage contingency.
Of course, realtors don't just represent sellers, they represent buyers as well. So if you have say a young couple looking to buy their first house or maybe to upgrade to their second house, what do you tell them when they write that offer? What's the advice to try to get through that maze and maybe get your offer accepted?
Well, the first thing is get yourself pre-approved, not just pre-qualified. Do everything. If you can go and meet with your lender, give them all your documentation, give them your W-2s, your pay stubs, everything they ask for. Some lenders are actually doing something where they're actually issuing commitment right at that point, because they're like, go find a house and you're good to go. So the more that you get your ducks in the line as far as getting your mortgage ready to go, that's probably the number one thing right now.
And now you talked about trying to make people feel a little better. So here's your shot. You're the head of the association. If someone's sitting here on this Sunday morning drinking their coffee saying, yeah, maybe it is time for me to sell, what's your pitch? Why is now the time?
Well, certainly because the prices are certainly at a premium. Prices in homes in last year have gone up 15 to 18%. That's statewide. It's just you're going to get top dollar for your house right now because there are so many buyers out there looking, and you're going to get a big group of people that are going to want to look at your house quickly. You may not have to. We still want you to declutter. We still want you to depersonalize, but there might be some work that maybe you thought you needed to do to get your house sold that maybe you don't need to do right now. And certainly we can do it safely. I live in southeastern Connecticut, very close to the subbase. I've sold homes sight unseen where we do videos of the home. I'm walking through it with you like you're standing right next to me, showing you all the properties. You don't need to have 50 people in your house to sell your house. It can be done safely. It can be done within the COVID guidelines. Just depends on what your comfort level is.
All right. Well, it certainly is a hot time to be in real estate. We appreciate you being with us this morning. Carol Christiansen, the head of the Connecticut Association of Realtors. We will probably check back in with you. I don't think this housing boom is going to be slowing down anytime soon. We appreciate a few minutes.
I don't think so either. Thank you, Eric.
All right, Carol, thanks. Coming up next in our Sunday Spotlight, the miraculous response COVID vaccines are having for some people who have been suffering with COVID symptoms for months. A local woman joins us to share her story right after this break.